What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here coming at you today with Q&A number 53. Now guys, before I get into this Q&A, I do have a quick shout out I need to sort. Just give me 1 second to find out. So, shout outs to Asti Young for new subscriber. Thank you so much, you're the reason my channel's growing stronger. And now with that done guys, onto the Q&A. Once again, these questions are brought to you by my good friend Darkcritician84, who starts off with a quick comment from the last video. I agree about Toad. Hopefully one day Konami will just ban it and be done with it. That would be very nice, however I don't see it happening. The only reason Toad was really good recently was because of Sprite abusing it, and frankly they were only abusing it when they had Elf, because Elf just lets them do it multiple times in a turn. Without Elf they really can't do as much with it. Honestly, ever since Elf got banned, I haven't seen Sprite been playing Toad at all, so not really a huge deal. Frankly, I think the Melfi variant is much worse, but that's just me. So this time I'm covering most of my hated rituals and links. All right then. So starting off, question 1: thoughts on Necros of Trishula? I don't really have that strong of an opinion on Trishula. Like most forms of Trishula, yes, it's quite annoying, but in comparison to the Synchro, I personally feel the ritual's pretty chill. Just on the simple reason that the ritual has to banish 3. So if you can remove if on the resolution of the effect you can remove resources from one of those 3 locations, like say finding a way to get rid of all the cards in your hand, then you don't even have to worry about it. So it's not tremendously a big deal. But that's just, yeah. But I do agree, banishing 3, not great. But since it has to banish exactly 3 to do it, it's not entirely impossible to play around. So yeah, not really too fast. 2, thoughts on Prediction Princess Tara. So Tara in the TCG is actually substantially more chill than in the anime. Frankly, I feel its upgraded form that came out in Darkwing Blast is a lot worse. Though I will say Tara's ability to just freely flip a monster up or down, depending on what monster it's choosing, it can be kind of disruptive, but again, that's kind of the same as people playing Book of Moon at the moment. It's just one of those ways to just disrupt your opponent easily. So, the original, probably not as bad. I mean, it is kind of annoying that it can be used to just freely manipulate Pot of the Forbidden. That's probably the worst thing I think I'd find about it, just the free manipulation of a card like Pot of the Forbidden. But, again, as I said, in comparison to the upgraded form that came out in Darkwing Blast, personally, I think it's excessively chill. Other than the fact that it can summon its upgraded form for free. Because of the restrictions on its upgraded form that says it can only be ritual summoned or special summoned by the effect of its predecessor. And then the upgraded form basically has the effects of the anime one. So, probably a bit worse, but yeah. So yeah, kind of annoying, but I think its upgraded form is worse in comparison, so meh. 2, thoughts on Herald of Ultimateness? Yeah, he's pretty annoying to deal with based on my experience of going against it in the Herald storyline on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I was pretty annoying to deal with, but it was kind of fun using it against my opponent, but yeah. I mean, it's pretty much an Omni Negate for as many times as you can discard a fairy, so not great. And in that deck it was pretty easy to manipulate fairies, particularly with things like Eva as well, that could just banish, get more resources to your hand. But overall, so yeah, not fun, but not impossible to play around. Considering it's once again one of those multiple negates depending on the number of cards in your hand, so all you basically just have to try and do is have more resources than your opponent's got in their hand. Not impossible. Okay, that appears to be all the rituals, so we're moving into the links. Question 4, thoughts on Trigate Wizard? From Spiral format, yes, Trigate Wizard was very annoying to deal with. Like, like a negate, and the ability to just banish something for free once per turn. Not fun. But from the design of it, it's pretty decent. It does take a lot for it to be set up to be actually useful, but if it is set up, then yeah, it's pretty annoying. But again, but for how it works, it's very deck situational, so not as bad as some other stuff that already exists. 5. Thoughts on Prank Kid's Rip-Roaring Roaster? So I had to double check which one this was, because I know between it and Battle Butler I know what they do. So that's the one that takes out the back row. Yeah, that's pretty... I mean, considering it has to get rid of itself to do it, not a huge deal. And personally, I've found against Prank Kids, they much prefer going into Battle Butler as opposed to the Rip-Roaring Roaster, so... From my experience playing Prank Kids, I don't think I've ever actually seen them summon Rip-Roaring Roaster against me once, even if I was on Endymion. Or Ben. Most of my decks, they just prefer to just take out my monster resources. So, frankly, never really had to deal with it, so don't really have a strong opinion on it one way or the other. 6. Thoughts on the Weather Painter Rainbow? So I haven't come across this card, so I actually had to research it. Yeah, that thing's pretty stupid. The fact that it can turn every Weather Painter it points to into an Omni Negate. That sounds absolutely horrible to deal with. I did go through the Weather Painter storyline, but I don't remember actually coming across that card. Or maybe I just kind of mulled over it, because I just kind of sped through it. But yeah, that's kind of a bit... But yeah, turning everything it points to into an Omni Negate, and the fact that it can sack itself off to negate a summon... Yeah... No, that's not on. I mean, I understand it's probably working off the Weather Rainbow mechanic, which gives stuff it points to, which is like, they give effects to stuff that they point to, or I think there's some other way that they do it as well, but I don't really remember, I haven't paid much attention to it. Yes, I understand it's part of that mechanic, but that still sounds like a bit much. So, no. And question 7, thoughts on Altergeist Hexia? I have had to suffer many a horrible loss because of the effect of Hexia. That card has been a pain in my side ever since Altergeist existed, and when combined with other things like Silk Twist to get rid of my monsters, Multi-Faker to just keep getting more resources, Protocol. Hexia just makes it too irritating and so much pain and suffering going against that deck. And I severely dislike that with the release of some of the new stuff, they're starting to come back into being played. Yay. So yeah, Hexia, not fun, wish it didn't exist. But it does. Sad times. And on that note, guys, that's all the questions I have today. Just... Hold on. Nope, nothing. Don't you guys ever just hate that moment when you can feel like you've got a sneeze coming and then it just doesn't go? Yeah, that's what I'm getting again. Hate that. But as I was saying, that's all the questions I have for today. Thank you again, Dark Partition84, for your questions. Very amusing as always. And if anybody else has any questions for me, I do these Q&As every Wednesday, UK time, morning or afternoon, depending on my schedule. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.